5. Perfect. Okay, as I was saying, some dude said I was faking my voice or forcing my voice, which is ridiculous. But let's go straight into the recap. So today, I lost $300 on the XFA, and now I am up 200 from today. This is the wrong one. I was trading on my eval, so I'm on another eval right now. 1.5k from the small profits I've been making. This one we're back up out of drawdown. I'm not really trading with micros. I'm more trying to adapt to the new market conditions. So I'm up 36. Today was from 168 up 200, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go over the charts because today was actually really interesting. Let's see this real quick. What's going on in the chat? Yeah, the Wi-Fi, whenever you're trading with Wi-Fi or bad Wi-Fi, your orders, you can't have a reasonable expectation for your orders to actually get filled properly. So, this is my charts. It's going to look complicated, but I can explain all of this. So, I'm going to start moving things as I explain it. I just want you guys to know, right down here, we have fourth standard deviation, higher time frame, busy. Bullish for value gap. So just keep all that marked out so we can make the charts a little bit clearer. So we have extra confluences lower, all these lows that we ran out today. And I'm also going to show you something else because most of you know what power 3 is. We have accumulation, London manipulation through all these lows, and entering New York, we have distribution higher. I'm going to go into the 1 minute so you guys can see what that looks like. Accumulation right here. This is our manipulation. Then we shoot up higher, and this is basically around 830. Shoot up higher. This is where we can be bullish until we hit our second standard deviation. So that's what we're going in towards. And so right here, I wasn't looking for a trade. I was just my hands were, or I was sitting on my hands. I was pretty happy I got the buys correct today. I wasn't really signaling any trades. I'm just gonna go over what my thought process was when I was at school. So equal highs right up here, as you can see. This is my first draw on liquidity that lined up with our first standard deviation of this entire manipulation move really well. So look at this new week opening or new day opening gap right here. Plus, if you guys know overall the diagrams and stuff, if we go on the higher time frame, you're going to see this looks awfully like a breaker right here that lines up with the run through the slow. This is the high before we shift market structure or whatever. This should just be unicorn breaker, whatever you want to call it. But it lines up almost perfectly with the new day opening gap. We retrace into that. I never took a trade off of that. It's just something I wanted to journal because it was really nice. It was something I noticed, respected that almost perfectly. Then we push up higher, forming this breakaway gap right here. So this is our breakaway gap, measuring gap. I'm not going to call that. It's we're just going to say this is a small breakaway gap. We could be expecting to run off these highs. So my first mistake on the day was trying to take shorts right here. We were inside the standard deviation, the second standard deviation. I was expecting lower, plus we had SMT at the highs, and we had this inversion fair value gap. Everything right here, plus the reaction off of our inversion right here, we tagged into it. This was actually really, I mean, I would have taken shorts here. And as you can see, we run through this high right here. You could have just taken shorts off the inversion fair value gap right here after we ran up this high, and you would have been safe. But we had that, we had a reaction right here. Once I realized we are starting to disrespect it, on my funded, I went long right here to target out this high. And that was it. I wanted to target out this high when I realized we aren't going to respect this anymore. We are going to disrespect this. When we start disrespecting it, I just went long to target it out. So that was the only trade I took. Meanwhile, on my XFA, I have to go back in my analyst channel to remember the trade I took. I don't even remember it. Let's see what I did. Okay, it was right here. So, my trade was a long, a very small long, which that was not a good idea. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but it was literally just long right here up until this high. That was literally the only thing that pushed me up to $200 with what's the name? 5 micro contracts. I took longs off consequent encroachment, and I was like, alright, we're gonna go run up this high anyways. So, very low quality trades today. This is disappointing, but I mean, that's just my performance, being transparent about it. Not really as good as I wanted to be. But let's go further into price action. Now that I can actually look at it clearly without having to hide my laptop, because my school, they take away your laptop if you're not doing anything school authorized. So back to this, you could say this is more of 3 drives. You run up this high, little internal high, ran up this, and if we look at the higher time frame, we are respecting our bodies aren't really closing outside of it. So that's basically an added on confluence for me. We inverse this for value gap. We do close above it, which usually isn't a good sign, but I mean, everything's looking good for lower price action. We have a breakaway gap, market structure shift, and if we're using our macros, you can see I mean, me and Bern were talking about the 1050 inversion macro right here. Same thing, 1050, first inversion for value gap. It was respected to an extent I would have liked. We close below, we start chopping around or accumulating inside of it, then we shoot lower from it. That's still something I want to study a lot more of. I want to look at more instances and try taking paper trades off of that, just to build more confidence in trying to take this trade, or just the 1050 inversion. But I mean, we ran lower. If we use standard deviation from this high down to this low, second we tap into our second standard deviation, which keep in mind we have massive bullish fair value gap, we have all these lows, everything right down here, tag into it and start running up higher. And this is basically giving us some sort of, how could I say this? I think narrative into the PM session, which we do run up a little bit higher. I wouldn't really say. Let's see if we have any type of full return to discounts. I wasn't really studying this part of price action. I mean, obviously you could see the accumulation right here, manipulation higher. We had this Sibby right here. This Sibby that we had right here. We also had these highs that we could have ran out. I think we formed, no, we didn't really form equal highs. Just ran out this one, this one. This is just from first glance. I never actually looked into the PM session. I focused more on the AM though, but just accumulation, run up high, which this looks like clear manipulation, run up and shoot straight lower. I don't think we could have caught any shorts here. I think it's just end of day macro, but I think that's really all I have. I mean, I didn't really look too much at the PM price action, so I'm not sure if there's anything I'm missing. I'd have to spend more time looking at it more in depth. But I am getting better at looking for entries or realizing or reading price, I guess. And that's what I'm mainly looking out for. Just the power of three, run up higher, realizing our standard deviations, being able to overall do what I need to do, I guess. We have 16 people in here, woohoo. Do you have any questions right now? Daily Civi? Let's go check that out. I'm gonna clear my charts because I was lagging. So we took. Oh, Luis Castro is here. Hello, Luis Castro. Let's go back to the price was gonna roll the high. The standard deviations. I was going solely off of the standard deviations. And just draw this out one more time. How would you use macros? In macros, the only thing I really use macros for is just times where I want to see more volatility in the markets. Or these are times I like to trade as extra added on confluences. I like to see how the macros react. Or for this one, for instance, like silver bullet macro. It's also a macro. There's so much macros. But it's basically I want to see a trade form inside of here. I guess you could have said this was more of a silver bullet, but I was just using the standard deviations, hoping the second one would get ran out. This was more of a scalp. Silver bullet scalp. Yeah, of course, Brino. There's a lot more than that, but also, Bird, do you want to talk about your funded now?
Yeah, not specifically the funded, but the trade that I took today.
Yes.
I have a little bit of like insight kind of in the PM session that I feel like it can be pretty helpful. I have a bit of a case study that I've been doing for like the last week or two. I don't have too many entries on it here, but give me like 1 second and I'll be on.
We're good. Are you gonna stream?
Yeah, I'll stream 1 sec.
Okay.
All right, make sure everything's all right here. You can see everything. Are you able to see all this stuff here, Mantas?
Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, this is cool. Post-lunch
Here's the
macro.
notion. Yeah. So first I want to talk about the trade I took today because I feel like it's a pretty good example for what we were looking for. So with like my class and stuff, because I'm in college, I feel like I have to be trading PM session a lot because I'm pretty busy usually in AM session. So I've been doing a lot of studying with PM session. And I've noticed a good amount about the PM macro,
Yo,
like right after lunch.
what's up,
What's
y'all?
going on? What's up, dude?
What's up, Mantas? Haven't seen you in a minute.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Mantas, bro. I think I got a girl pregnant.
Okay,
You can keep on talking, Bird. You can keep on talking.
No, I didn't seem like you had something important to say. I didn't want to interrupt
No,
that.
you're good, bro.
That was totally worth it. Um, no, okay. So, I feel like obviously like indicator trading isn't usually how people want to go.
Yeah.
But if there's two indicators that I feel like anybody needs, it's the ICT macros and ICT kill zones
Oh yeah, that's
because those two are lethal if you pair them together. So like for example, for my trade today, if you used the kill zones, so one thing I've noticed a lot is a lot of the times PM session will like to sweep out either the top or the bottom of lunch and reverse, especially if you pair it with daily bias.
Yeah.
So like today, obviously AM session, we took out yesterday's highs and took out London and Asian session liquidity. So not to mention like all of the equal lows we have. So we have like a ton of sell side bias here or bearish bias, I feel like. So if you like are looking what happened during lunch, usually we kind of just accumulate, and you see we like ran up super high into taking out like these lunch highs,
Yeah.
and almost every time that it takes out lunch highs, it'll tap into a higher time frame imbalance. So like we had this big 15-minute fair value gap right here, which also lined up with the 15-minute breaker too.
Yeah.
So we had like a double confluence in there. So then usually after it takes out some sort of buy or sell side, if you wait for the macro from like 110 to 140, whenever it is, it usually creates some sort of AMD. And if you just wait for the macro to finish, it tells you what type of like what the macro was, and you can just wait for it to tell you and then take a trade based off that. So like obviously after we took out lunch, we had a ton of accumulation.
Yep.
And then we spiked higher, taking out this buy side, tapping into our breaker, tapping into our 15-minute, like all sorts of sell side confluences. And then even though this trade like dumped through here without even retracing like all the way down to the 2.5 standard deviation level, if you just like all you had to do was just wait for it to come back to this unfilled imbalances, and it would have been a perfect short down to the sell side.
Bro, that's some insane value. Thank
So-
you for dropping it here.
Yeah, so that's one thing I noticed, and then I have a couple more
Really?
on like a couple more examples here on
Post-lunch macro P.
Notion. So this was the one from today. This was the one from our big sell-off on Tuesday. It doesn't always take out some sort of buy or sell side liquidity. Sometimes it takes out like internal range liquidity. Like on this one, we took out some buy side inside of this imbalance during like this was during the macro. So if you literally just wait for the macro to take out some sort of sell side, like as long as it's in line with your bias, macro post macro will always take out like some sort of AMD. That's what I've been noticing the last couple of days at least. And then I had one. I think this one was from. I think this was last Friday. But like obviously we were super bullish this day. We took out this was Asian low. We swept during lunch. We have a ton of equal highs we're trading towards. And then during lunch we left this big BPR imbalance. We accumulated during macro. So as soon as macro ends, you see we manipulate macro lows into a discount on our lunch range, and then we just run for highs after that. And you can find the inverse entry right there. There's probably more 1-minute entries too. But that was just some ideas I had about PM session, so I thought I'd share.
Bro, thank you for sharing them. That's actually insane. I'm gonna start looking at PM session more. I'm gonna let you know what I can find. I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah, totally. I need to get this more organized. It kind of looks shitty, but once I can get this better figured out, I can drop it in the server too. People can check it out.
Bro, thank you.
Of course.
We had a good amount of people in here too. 18 people. Wow, we're starting to break records again. Okay, we're gonna keep it up tomorrow at the same time. We're gonna have recaps again. I'm gonna do this basically for the rest of my life, or as much as I can. So, I mean, yeah, we have people watching the YouTube too. I appreciate that a lot.
Damn, Onside's in here too. I had a shout out Onside. I didn't even realize he was in here.
Yeah, I go live every night. Louis Castro. But yeah, of course. I'm gonna see how far I can take it tomorrow. I want to push. I can pass my eval tomorrow. I'm not gonna force it, but I'm gonna have my end goal being I think 1.3k on the XFA and the 50k. Grit, I had almost every single person in the like trading industry in there. I had PB Trades. So like, who else was in there? I can't remember.
I saw that.
It's a shame. I remember you've been here for a while. But I think that's it, right? Can we wrap this up? No more questions for either me or Brett? Or, good. Very good. I'm gonna stack fundeds and then I'm gonna go nuts. Take multiple payouts. I have one funded.
What size is your eval?
They're all 50Ks on top step right now. Almost all the accounts I
That's
do are
dope.
just 50Ks now. I used to do 150Ks, but that was tragic. I lost 3 of them when I paid the activation fee. That was heartbreaking for me.
50Ks have the better risk to reward too on the account size. You
Yeah.
can trade up to 4% drawdown on 50Ks, but all the other accounts above that are 3%.
I get that.
I'm not sure why they do that.
Okay. Okay, I think that's actually it. We have no more